Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Recently, a client called with this dilemma. He said, I'm probably going to get one of those government checks, but I don't need it and I'd be really embarrassed to take it. How can I return it? The government checks in question are the direct payments to individuals that are part of the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, also known as the CARES Act, passed by Congress. Based on 2019 or 2018 tax returns, these checks will be in the amount of $1,200 for single filers that have an adjusted gross income of below $75,000, and they'll be for $2,400 for joint filers with adjusted gross income below $150,000. In addition to that, for each dependent under age 17, there'll be an additional $500. Now, these amounts are phased out for those that have over those AGI thresholds. The government estimates that 3/4 of tax filers, maybe more, are going to qualify for these payments. Some of those recipients, despite their qualifying AGI, are going to be fortunate enough to not need the payments. Typically, this is going to be somebody who's likely to be retired with a paid for home, little or no debt, and a stable source of income that is just more than enough to take care of their needs. So you may be in this category, and like my client, you may feel embarrassed to accept a check when so many other people are in severe need. So what are your options? First, returning the check isn't necessarily the best choice. There's no cap on the amount available for these payments. So if you keep your payment, you're not taking it out of the pocket of someone else. In addition, you are likely to receive a direct bank deposit rather than a physical check. So you couldn't just simply tear up a check or mail it back to the IRS instead of depositing it. Personally, I think trying to get it back to the IRS might cost more than the $1,200 check. So what I'd suggest is to keep the purpose of these payments in mind. The intent is to support local economies and provide relief to people who have lost jobs, seen self-employment income dry up, or has been forced to close or drastically cut back their small business. If you don't need the check yourself, you can use it in many ways. That will provide exactly the support and relief that the government intended for that money. Here are some possibilities. You could donate it to a food bank, a homeless shelter, or other charity providing meals and services to people in need. You could pay rent for someone who's lost a job. You could pay utility bills or buy groceries or other necessities for families who are hurting financially. You could buy gift cards for future use at a local business that is temporarily closed. You could even pass them on as gifts. You could have a local restaurant deliver some meals to the staff of a local nursing home or medical facility to thank them, the caregivers, for their hard work. Doing that, you'll support both the caregivers and the restaurant. You could buy a couple of laptops or tablets to help families who don't have adequate technology for kids' online learning. Basic laptops designed for students started under $300, so $1,200 could buy 4. You could donate it to a local organization such as a museum, art centers, community theater, or a concert association that's had to close facilities or cancel events. Lastly, you could just simply share the cash with direct monetary gifts to people who are out of work, such as your hairstylist, massage therapist, or employees at a restaurant you patronize. If you've received a benefit check that you're just fortunate enough not to need, there's no need to feel guilty or embarrassed. There's no point in sending it back. Instead, you might choose to pass it on in a spirit of gratitude to someone who does need it. You're going to be able to be helping your neighbors with money that can be given to them in an effective and personal way that maybe the government could not do to help fulfill its intended purpose. You know, as human beings, we really are hardwired to give. And this is your opportunity to make it a win for a number of people and for yourself. Thanks for listening.